What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another New York Giants video. I'm a little bit pumped up. I'm a little bit excited because yesterday, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. You know, sometime yesterday. I don't think it was at night. I was busy. You guys know all my semester started, but we got our defensive coordinator. It is Don Wink Martindale. It was the guy that that was my personal #1 choice. I thought he would have been one of the best candidates out there. Of course, there were a good amount of candidates. Among the finalists, I think it was Sean Desai, Steve Wilkes, and Don himself. We never did actually interview Vic Fangio, to my memory, which was a little bit weird. But Fangio or Fangio, I keep saying Fangio, but Vic Fangio, if I recall, he kind of runs a little bit of a 4-3 more than a 3-4 style defense. And, Wink still runs the 3-4. Of course, he runs a very aggressive version of it. So I'm guessing maybe that could play a reason why. Either way, I shouldn't even be talking about the candidates right now because I got the guy that I wanted. In fact, a lot of Giants fans wanted Wink Martindale, and we have him here right now. What I wanted to talk about in this video specifically was how does the addition of Wink to the coaching staff and, a couple of rumored defensive assistants, Rob Ryan being one of them. And can I just say real quickly, Rob Ryan as a defensive assistant is a power move, in my opinion. What I mean by that is the Giants have been getting really good coaches or just really good people to their staff, to the organization in general this offseason. If you looked at it, we got like one of the best, if not the best general manager candidate out there, and it was the Giants' first choice. We got one of the best head coaching choices out there. We got one of the best offensive coordinator choices out there. Even though it wasn't my first offensive coordinator choice, it was a name that was known around the league that would be interviewing for that job in Mike Kafka, because he worked with Mahomes, because he was under Reed and the Chiefs offense and whatnot. We got one of the best defensive coordinator candidates out there. And now you're talking about adding one of the Ryan brothers. These guys, I mean, the entire Ryan family are great coaches, but, Rex and Buddy, Rex obviously being the more popular, and I guess maybe you could argue more accomplished one because he was the head coach of the Jets, got the Jets to the AFC Championship game, those 2 years there with Mark Sanchez and whatnot. But great defensive coaches, man. Rob has been a defensive coordinator before as well, and most recently he was with, I'm sure you can guess, he was with Wink in Baltimore as, I believe, the Ravens linebacker coach. And if he comes over here as a defensive assistant, possibly as our linebackers coach, it makes me really excited because when Wink came here, and I guess let me switch so you guys could see who I'm talking about. When Wink came here, I really started to think about the Giants personnel on the defensive side of the ball. And we're going to get to the cornerbacks. I know most people watching this video right now, probably that's where their mind went to, the cornerbacks and the cornerback situation and whatnot, and for a very good reason. We'll get to there. But my mind went to linebackers, both outside and inside. I'm very excited to see how Azeez Ojulari performs in his second year. Because Azeez Ojulari, I mean, if you've been watching the channel for at least a year, you guys knew I was a big fan of this kid. I really wanted the Giants to get him, and when we got him, I was so happy. And I do think he lived up, even maybe surpassed a little bit my initial expectations. Not the crazy ones I had. I had really crazy expectations saying that Azeez was going to be like a 15-sack dude. But no, for a rookie, 8 sacks, obviously Giants rookie record. One of the best rookie edge defenders out there. And this was a guy that was kind of raw talent, unfiltered, need a lot more learning to do. Very, very young. I think he entered, somewhere 2021 when he entered. So he has a lot more to grow physically, and he's already a specimen. And also, of course, mentally with football IQ and how he plays the game and whatnot. The reason I bring all of that up is because the Ravens just had a rookie edge defender, outside linebacker, in Odafe Owe. And Owe, in my opinion, was even more raw, even more unfiltered type of edge rusher than Azeez was. And I keep saying Jason Owe because that's the name I knew him by in the draft. I don't know if he changed his name or he goes by a different name now, but Owe ended up having a great rookie season for the Ravens as well. So when we got Wink, I'm like, man, imagine what he could do with somebody that, in my opinion, has a better foundation and has a better start than Owe did. And That's not to put down Owe or anything. That's just to say I'm excited to see what he could do with our edge. And then with Rob Ryan, and this is still rumors, nothing concrete specific, our inside linebacking core. Blake Martinez went down, and I think we all saw, and I love Tay Crowder to death, man. I hope he stays with the team as long as he can. But I'm not sure if he's necessarily that linebacker too. And because of Blake's injury, and because of his contract and whatnot, and the fact that Joe Schoen said he's going to be looking to make $40 million in space, he's definitely one of the most popular candidates to sort of be up and out of here, whether by trade or some other form this offseason. Now, I personally wouldn't want that to happen. If we could keep Blake Martinez anyway, I think we should. I really do think he's one of the more underrated linebackers in the league. You're letting 150 tackles walk out the door. That dude is a stud. And he's very underappreciated, even by Giants fans, in my opinion. So when Rob Ryan comes here, I'm excited to see what he could do with Blake as a new linebackers coach in general. But in addition to that, I currently think that the Giants are going to draft a linebacker in this year's draft. Now I'm not saying we're going to take Devin Lloyd or, in the Kobe Dean in the first round, with our 5th or 7th pick. But I do think we're going to take somebody with one of those 5 in the 100. We have 5 picks in the top 100. I definitely think we're going to get a middle linebacker there. Whether it's a guy to pair next to Blake Martinez or a guy that could potentially take over after Blake Martinez leaves. And, once again, this rumor with Rob Ryan kind of emboldened my thought of that, because we got Wink. Wink has always had good middle linebackers to work with in Baltimore. You guys see the connection here if Ryan does come over. But even if he doesn't, it was a need anyway. We've desperately needed a linebacker for years now. I think we got it with Blake. However, cap situation being what it is, the regime being what it is, he may or may not be here, and that leads me into the cornerbacks. Once again, the whole point of this video is just after Wink was hired, I'm thinking about personnel. A lot of people believe James Bradberry is probably the most popular name up there for a cut or a trade, to be a cap casualty, basically, to make up those $40 million that Joe Schoen was talking about, and with good reason, right? Bradberry probably has one of the more, I wouldn't say most, because that's probably Leonard Williams or Galladay, but right behind him, I'd say, is James Bradberry. He's on a $20-something million a year deal, and him and Martinez have already restructured their contracts twice, and they've only been here for 2 years. So if they do it a third time, please, for the love of God, Joe Schoen, do it. They are really good players. I would love to keep them. Bradberry is underrated as well, even by Giants fans. I know we just ran a zone heavy scheme these past 2 years with Patrick Graham, but Bradberry is first and foremost a man corner. In Carolina, he was a man corner. We know that Don Wing Martindale, his heavy aggressive, heavy blitzing scheme relies on man corners. I'm not saying he's going to excel in that scheme. I'm not even saying, he's going to be just as good, but what I am saying is that he can play in that scheme. We shouldn't completely throw that idea out the window that, we should get rid of Bradberry just because he just played in a zone heavy scheme. In fact, most of our corners can play man coverage. Aaron Robinson, we just drafted, was a press man corner, just here at the third round. If I remember correctly, I might have to go back and look at my notes. But Rodarius Williams as well, I believe, was a man corner. Because if you guys remember last offseason, just a year ago from today, or a year ago from this time, basically last year, the Giants were looking into getting a lot of man corners because we were, or at least it seemed that Patrick Graham was going to try and move back to what he was doing in Miami. And that's similar to what Wink did in Baltimore. He was blitzing a good amount, and he relied more on man coverage than the zone coverage. So I do think we have some personnel. Obviously, it's not perfect to fill in those roles. But at the end of the day, Bradberry's contract is something to take note of. So I definitely do believe, I do believe that he is a big candidate to be a cap casualty. And because of that, I do think the Giants are probably going to take a corner in this year's draft. Just like the linebacker ones, because of priorities, I don't necessarily think it's going to be in the first round or even the second round. I do think that's going to be, where we take our linemen and possibly an edge rusher. Maybe in somewhere in the third or fourth, just like with the linebacker, we'll take another man corner. We shall see. But just these hires got me thinking right away. I want to share the thoughts with you guys. And definitely pitch your ideas back at me down in the comments below. But that's it for now, guys. Speaking of drafts, I'm halfway done with making my first mock draft. It's literally just making the animations and putting together the graphics at this point. Hopefully it's out by this time next week. I'm out. Peace. Hey guys, Thanks for watching. Thank you for checking out my channel, The Hub, here on Giants YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you hear every time I put out a video. Like it, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.